Now available in paperback and e-readers from SJS Direct. ISIS, House of Isis. The goddess next door takes on a hustling Hotep high priestess in Harlem in this Afrocentric ISIS series adventure. Pick up ISIS, House of Isis at online booksellers today. One of my viewers from Africa, who is a regular donor to the channel, wanted me to talk about relations between foundational black Americans and Africans in America. Now, this viewer basically is really frustrated about guys like Tariq Nasheed constantly denigrating Africans and is really wants to set this picture straight as related to his plans to look to have relationships with foundational black Americans. And what the viewer wants to do is wants to build business connections as related to his job service website and his ice water and vending business. He wants to go out here and build business relations, but really is having a hard time having relations with foundational black Americans. Now, when it comes down to foundational black Americans and Africans, there has always been a bit of a divide, and a bit of a divide because white supremacy does not want foundational black Americans and Africans to work together. No, what the white supremacist wants the African to do is believe the same white supremacist ideas about foundational black Americans. Now, when it comes down to the white supremacist has created propaganda about black people in their media ever since the days of the antebellum South. Now, as they were having foundational black Americans go out here and build their country, what they would go out here and do is project and perpetuate stereotypes about black people being lazy, black people being incompetent, and black people being stupid. These were the narratives that white supremacy wanted to go out here and present regarding the slaves that they brought to this country to build all of their slave plantations, go out here and do all of their labor. And sadly, what has happened is that as black people were liberated from slavery, many of the Africans who lived in Africa, what happened is that they bought into this propaganda. They wound up buying into this propaganda from white supremacy, and as they bought into this propaganda from white supremacy, they began to have the same white supremacist ideas and negative perception of black people that many of the white supremacists presented inside of their propaganda. And this is something that I basically experienced back from 1996 to 1997 as I was working front end at Food Emporium being a grocery bagger. Now, they had a lot of African delivery guys who were doing deliveries to white people's homes at that time. And as I was trying to bag the groceries, what happened is many of the African guys would look to give me a hard time based on racist stereotypes that were presented by white supremacy, and they bought into these stereotypes because they didn't really do any critical thinking. Now, I could have gone out here and said, hey, these Africans think that they're better than me, but I understood the bigger picture was that this African basically was buying into propaganda from white supremacy where they were believing, oh, this black man is lazy, this black man is not doing things right, and they wanted to go up on the social pecking order. They wanted to go and climb the ladder of the social pecking order of white supremacy by believing that they were because they were African from Africa, they could go out here and gain more favor with these white supremacists by going out here and showing up the black man. That's what many of them thought back then. And I had to look at that back then and basically shake my head because what was happening here was we had an African individual who really was not aware of white supremacy. And when it came down to white supremacy, they basically don't see any black person as having any value whatsoever in their society. And basically what happened there was, again, I had to, again, navigate through my emotions instead of getting into it with these guys as related to their white supremacist and racist ideas about black people. I had to say, okay, I can't really get into it with these guys. I got to try to keep this job. And I have to understand that some people, again, buy into these ideas, but these ideas are not from the African. They come from the white supremacist. And the white supremacist, again, presents these ideas globally. And sadly, some Africans buy into these ideas. They buy into these ideas about black people, and that is what causes a lot of friction between foundational black Americans and Africans. Now, the viewer is upset at guys like Tariq Nasheed constantly denigrating Africans, and I don't really think that's a good thing to do for relations, but he's coming from a place of his experiences. Now, a lot of brothers out here have gotten a lot of hard times from Africans as related to them looking to have interactions with them, where they have to deal with some Africans, again, coming out here with the perception that they are better than them, and they also have to deal with Africans looking to try to jockey for favor from white people. A lot of things that I've seen against with some Africans is that when they see a black person, they want to say that they are less than and look to treat them like less than, but that's not every African. I mean, this viewer, what they want to do is look to build relationships with black people, which is a positive thing. And the whole thing is that what they want to do is look to try to get people to understand the other side from their perspective. What they want you to what this guy wants to do, who is the son of a West African Liberian immigrant whose ancestors were black American sharecroppers who fled to Cuba and then Africa. This guy, again, wants to build relations between foundational black Americans and Africans. He wants to have relationships with brothers and sisters in the community, but many brothers and sisters, when it comes down to Africans, are very wary, and they're very wary because what they have basically been burnt in the past. Many brothers and sisters have been burnt. Many have been, again, gotten a hard time from Africans, but we have to try to build bridges with those who want to build bridges with us. I mean, when it comes down to black people, foundational black Americans, a lot of times we don't really want to work with folks because we've been burnt by things like the Black-Brown Coalition, where Hispanics basically, after they got theirs in the civil rights movement, closed the door on us. And many black folks, again, also got burnt when they looked to work with Africans by having to deal with different scam artists and different con men. And again, that makes it just that much harder for brothers like the one who wanted me to make this video to try to talk to other foundational black Americans. I mean, the sad part is that when it comes down to, again, black people and Africans, there's a lot of friction, but that's something that sadly has happened because in this system of white supremacy, it basically thrives on divide and conquer. It thrives on looking to divide foundational black Americans from their African ancestors and their descendants. It basically works towards keeping us separate from each other and keeps us fighting with each other because white supremacy's business is war. Its business is war, and it looks to keep us divided. And as long as we're fighting each other, they can go out here and sell us the guns and butter. And as long as they can sell us the guns and the butter, they can have us in a war with other black people instead of working with those black people towards building a stronger black community here in America and globally. Now, the viewer, again, wants to, build relationships with black people and wants to learn more about their black identity because their ancestors were black American sharecroppers. And, again, we have to be open to other black people from other nations in some cases. I mean, if those brothers and sisters want to be a part of black empowerment and are looking to work with us towards our own agendas as related to things like reparations, like this viewer wants to do, and wants to build a relationship where they understand things as related to life in America, then we really need to be a bit more open to those individuals so that they can go out here and help build our community and help us be able to find individuals like this one who is an entrepreneur. I mean, we do need more entrepreneurs so that we can go out here and do things like group economics. We need to focus on more important things, again, like building black-owned businesses so we can employ our own people, so our own people can go out here and find work regularly so that we don't have to go out here and have to deal with things like companies with their AI where they use it to weed us out, or other minorities who actively go out here and look not to hire foundational black Americans because they again have bought into many of these stereotypes about black people. A lot of these other peoples, again, they buy into this media that they see and all the things that they hear about black people. But if someone is open, we should give them a chance to show us that they are genuine. And that's what I'm trying to do here with this viewer who has requested multiple videos from me. You know, trying to, again, build a bridge between myself and others, something I do with all the time because I have a lot of viewers who do come from other countries. People watch this channel all over the world, and they learn from my workplace videos, they learn from my dating videos, and what this brother wants to do is learn more about black culture and learn more about black life. And I'm open to let you learn about black culture and black life, but the whole thing is a lot of black people, we're a diverse people. It's a rich, diverse culture, and we barely scratch the surface. So that's why you really can't go by what you see in the media. And because when it comes down to the mainstream media, they're going to show you the stereotypes that make white racists comfortable. They like to see the street Negroes. They like to see the thugs. They like to see the gangsters. Again, these are images that the white racist makes that, again, they make to make themselves feel comfortable, similar to the brute, similar to the minstrel. And we really don't get to see that balanced picture of black people and people all over the world. The only way they get to see a balanced picture is if we present it, and that's one of the reasons why I did this channel, so people could get to know me and get to know my stories that I write. Because when I write stories about black life and the black experience, I try to give people a richer picture of black culture, like I did with my novels, Spellbound, or books like The Temptation of John Haynes, where, again, I see all these divisions as related to race and class, and inside of the intra-racism that are going on in the black community. I mean, in the black community, we have a lot of intra-racism that goes on that basically fragments our community and keeps us from coming together to be a united front, keeps us from being able to form relations with other people. And the viewer basically, again, wants to learn more about black people. And again, he was a little upset because he says that, you know, guys like Tariq Nasheed, again, denigrate Africans, but that comes from personal experience from some Africans who, again, bought into stereotypes, and we have to work together towards shattering those stereotypes, because the stereotypes are what white supremacy uses to divide us, to conquer us, and keep us from forming connection with the motherland we are descendants from, because we are descendants of Africans who were descendants of slaves. Again, that's what foundational black Americans were. We are the descendants of slaves who basically built this country, and we have to get our heads together and get our minds right towards building diplomatic relations with those who want to be diplomatic with us. Now, this was a video requested by one of my viewers, and if you want to request a video, you can send a donation for a minimum of $20 to the PayPal or the Cash App. Yeah, the price went up because things cost a lot more, and you can send that donation for a minimum of $20 to the PayPal or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box, and if I know something about that subject, I'll make that video for you. And if you also want to help out the channel, you can pick up the books of the SJS Direct imprint, which will give you a richer picture of black life and black culture you won't see in white publications. You won't see these experiences as related to black culture in white publications. And you can find those books like Spellbound, The Temptation of John Haynes, the ISIS series, the Steam series, and the Spinsterella books. You can find those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Draft Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Give in to temptation and pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation of John Haynes in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Bride of Dracula. Goddess Next Door and John Haynes team up to take on the dark vampire in this action-packed ISIS series adventure. Get Isis, Bride of Dracula in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.